Welcome, nature detectives. I'm Conrad Baker. I'm an outdoor educator with the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation at Letchworth State Park, and today I have a nature mystery for you. My mystery is an almost invisible animal. It's an animal that's rarely seen throughout its life, but I had the good luck of being able to see one. I think we can use your nature tools to figure out what it is and how it helps us every single day. We'll need just one nature tool today, and that's our eyes. I'll show you what it looks like right here. It's not this whole thing that I'm holding, just the end, this thing moving around over here. Some of you may have seen an animal that looks like this before, but using those nature tools, we can figure out exactly what kind of animal it is. So what's the first thing that you notice about an animal like this? For me, it's its shape. This animal is super long and stretched out. Everything about it is elongated, super duper long. Its legs, its body, even its antennae are super long. If we were to measure those antennae against the total length of the animal, they would be about 1/3 of its total length. That is much longer than many other animals like this. Another nature clue that we can notice about this animal is its color. Are you seeing lots of bright colors on this animal? Reds and oranges and yellows and whites? No, this is a pretty darkly colored animal, or what a scientist might call cryptically colored. It blends in very well, especially with sticks and leaves and twigs. This animal has excellent camouflage. It's very good at blending in to its surroundings. Another nature clue, speaking of color, that we can notice about this animal is the pattern that those colors show up on its body. If you notice looking really closely that the main body segments, the head, the thorax, and the abdomen, are mostly brown. And even the first segments of the legs close to the body are mostly brown. But out towards the end of the legs, we're seeing some green. We're seeing some green. That's a really important nature clue. And if we look even closer, we'll notice that the middle legs, in the middle of the body, have a black-brown pattern on the first segment of those legs. That is really distinctive, unusual among animals that look like this. It'll tell us exactly what kind of animal this is. Let's put all those nature clues together. We have an animal that's mostly brown towards the middle and green at the ends with that black-brown pattern on the middle leg. The colors are mostly green and brown in total, and they're drab colors. And all of the body parts are super long and stretched out, elongated. This must be a northern stick insect, also known as a common stick insect. These kinds of animals are studied by scientists. They have been for many, many hundreds of years, but they're so unusual and so difficult to find that they're still pretty poorly understood compared to some other kinds of animals. Stick insects are so good at blending in that they're rarely seen throughout their lives. So this one is the only one that I have seen this year, even though I've been looking pretty closely for all kinds of bugs. The stick insect is an herbivore. That means it only eats plants, as you may know. Stick insects like to live way up high in the highest branches of trees, in what a scientist would call the canopy, the highest layer of the forest. Stick insects living in the canopy, being so cryptically colored and elongated and camouflaged, are very difficult to see, very difficult for predators to find them, and since they're eating all the leaves way up high, they open up holes in the very, very top layers of the forest, and that allows sunlight to get down to the forest floor. It doesn't really harm the tree that much if there aren't a lot of stick insects around, and it allows that sunlight down to the forest floor where baby trees, young trees that are maybe only this big, can get some sunlight and get a head start on life. They're more likely to be successful if they can get some direct sunlight every day. So in that sense, stick insects are beneficial to their environment, to a mature forest ecosystem. They can benefit by opening up those skylights in the roof of the forest. But sometimes, if there are a lot of stick insects around, they can eat a ton of vegetation, a ton of leaves on the top of those trees. That's called defoliation. And a defoliated tree is going to have a harder time surviving that year. Sometimes stick insects can get in trouble with people because they eat street trees or park trees, and a huge group of them together can defoliate that tree. Fortunately though, stick insects, at least in this area, don't have any wings, so they can't fly around to new areas and cause big infestations or problems with other groups of trees. They can only go as far as they can walk. Another unsung benefit of stick insects comes from the world of technology and robotics. The cutting-edge drone technology and robot technology of different devices that can walk themselves over uneven terrain or even climb up structures are based on stick insects. Many scientists and engineers are looking very closely at how stick insects maneuver their bodies and hang on sticks just like this, moving around each limb independently, finding a good foothold just like that, so that they can copy those sort of movements in their robots. That's called biomimicry, when a machine or technology mimics or looks like some sort of animal or a natural organism. It's a really interesting way that stick insects are benefiting us humans without most of us even knowing about it. The black, brown, black pattern on the middle leg is how we know that this is a common stick insect. Other kinds of stick insects look pretty similar to this, but they don't have that pattern. That's pretty unique to these guys. They just happen to be the one that we're most likely to see here in this region, the Genesee region of New York State. Well, thank you so much for joining me for today's Nature Mystery. If you have any questions about stick insects or other kinds of cool bugs you might find out and about, please put a comment in the comment section below the video. Share this video with your friends to put their nature detective skills to the test. And as always, like Letchworth State Park's Facebook page to stay tuned for more nature mysteries.